Okay. Welcome to another episode of the Hope Boyz Show. I'm Kes.
Jack's in the building.
Yes, sir. And this is where we bring you life lessons and music through motivation, as always.
As always.
What's going on, DJ Jax?
Oh, man, I'm just excited today.
Why are you excited, man? What we talking about?
We get to talk about Lady Gaga. Phenomenal.
Lady Gaga.
Icon.
Uh-huh.
You know, we're glad to talk about it, to give the people some of her story. And just the biggest topic we are talking about today is
resiliency, right? Lady Gaga, and what makes it special, on top of her being a phenomenal musician, on top of her being a phenomenal philanthropist and a role model for so many people out there, is that her story is really one of resilience, and going from where she was, where she started, to where she is today, and everything that she's been through in the interim. It really shows that, demonstrates that.
Yeah.
And we're also going to even get into some of our own story and how we demonstrate resilience in our own lives, and how that's allowed us to help people and continue to help people on our journey as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely so. Let's break down her story. You know, we won't keep the people.
I mean, if you really don't know who Lady Gaga is, you're probably living under a rock somewhere.
Yeah.
But everyone knows who she is. She's this phenomenal pop artist, singer, musician. But what's really great about her story that I discovered, one is that there's no denying that she was seriously talented and gifted as a young child. But I never like when people just throw those words around to mean like that it was just given to you. She still had to put in the work.
Exactly.
You know, she still had to put in the practice, the hours of practice to really perfect her craft. But yeah, she was doing it from a young age. She had great parents in her life who steered her right, so we can't take away none of that from her.
Of course not. Of course not. On that one part, like you said, a lot of people, and I said this last week, and I said this in the previous shows, that we are always going to throw that work on motto in there. Is that it's good that you said that. It's like, yeah, she had, you had the talents that you're born with, but talents like that just don't, they just don't manifest without you putting in that work.
Exactly. You still have to bring them out. You still have to develop them within yourself. So where her story gets really interesting is that, and we won't go through the details because the show's not about the life behind a person. So we just like to pick and choose certain parts of the story. But where her story gets really interesting is that when she had sort of reached what she thought was the pinnacle, what most people would if you're pursuing a career in music, that you're looked at it by one of the top labels at the time, that was Def Jam, who signed her. But unfortunately, within just 3 months later, they dropped her.
Yeah.
Right? And so now you're like, okay, like you just said, hey, look, Ma, I made it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, no, I didn't. Nah. And she finds herself back in the local bars that she was performing in. And, it's just like, most people would have been totally devastated by that, would have saw it as a sign from God that this isn't for you, like it's time to give it up, time to go to something else. Yeah. But what happened? What'd she do?
She kept going. That factor we're going to talk about is that resiliency.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that one part of that story. Like, I want people to really, really understand that part is, you signed a Def Jam.
Yeah.
You're going to California. Because remember, you signed. You're in the big. Somewhat you could say you're in the big leagues.
Yeah.
But there's somebody to take you and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna put you back in that bar. It's a lot of people don't even. If you think about just the things that we have, the glitz and glam that we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to give that up. They're stuck on it. They think, like I said, the pinnacle of life. It is extreme. This is what we're going to talk about, that resiliency of keep going past that, because I know that we've both been in situations where we believe that we made it to some pinnacle of life, and then something happened, knock you back down, and say, no, what, you're going to go DJ in that bar tonight.
Yeah.
You were in the club, but you're going to go DJ in that bar tonight.
Yeah. Like, in life, it humbles you, it teaches you, but what I've learned is that it's through those moments of pain, suffering, disappointment, that you actually grow the strongest. Your character develops the most, right? The Buddhists have a saying that life is suffering. And what I learned from that is that it's not that it's about suffering and negativity and being down, but it's because it's through that stress, through that pressure, that you get stronger, right? Like through the pressure that when we lift weights, that's what makes the muscle stronger.
Exactly.
And so with Lady Gaga, what actually ended up happening is that, so now she gets dropped by Def Jam, she's back in the bar, so she starts to run into people who introduce her into this lifestyle of performing that's what they call the burlesque shows and these different like performance reviews that they call that they do in these bars where it's like, you know, basically is what gave her style of what she is today. That's where she developed it. So not before she hit this pinnacle. Before that, she's just like kind of in the whole rock band type of thing. But when she now gets knocked down to what most people be like, oh, it's over for you, that's when she discovered who she really was. That pressure created that character in her, and now she morphed into this like this being, this Lady Gaga person who the world came to fall in love with, and you know, we all listen to her music, you know, to this day now.
Yeah. So that part, I think that went over my head, you know, when I was we're doing the research, and I think that kind of just hit me hard. Just saying that you could get knocked down, right? But sometimes you could find that answer in what we could call hell, in your personal hell. You could actually go back and find that answer, and her being able to, because we know Lady Gaga is that it's that like I said, that I say the word artistry. Yeah, I'm like trying to fight with the word artistry.
Don't fight it. Let the word happen.
we know when she adds that to that effect to a performance that makes it strong. It's never a performance where she just has the microphone in her hand and a couple of dancers. It's like a whole pizzazz to her performance.
It's a
you
show.
Learned that when you were kicked down in what we could consider your personal health. You know what I mean? Getting dropped and going back into this arena that you was in. I think that's great.
No, I mean, it absolutely is. I mean, even when we look at our lives, we always, you know, often get people saying things like, you know, you guys are so motivational, you're so inspirational, but everything we are today wasn't because, you know, we went to school for it. I mean, eventually we did go to school and things like that, but a lot of that came and really got birthed from the fire that we went through, which was 7 years in prison.
Exactly.
And so regardless of how we ended up there, that place that is literally hell in a lot of ways, instead now we chose to say, how can we take this and turn it and to build character, to build strength, to develop these new skills, and to now like morph into these new beings that are sources of positivity and light. You know what I mean? And I think one of the great things that we were talking about off camera that a lot of people could benefit from is how do people develop resiliency, right? That's always like kind of, that's like resiliency is such a great buzzword, this trigger word, and it means so much, but at the same time it's elusive because it's like, well, how do you develop it? You can't read a book just to develop resiliency.
Exactly.
Like, so, like, what type of tips can we give people? How do they develop resiliency within themselves? Because at the end of the day, everybody has dreams, everybody has goals, and the difference between the musician who makes it and the musician who doesn't, or the entrepreneur who makes it and the entrepreneur who doesn't, essentially always comes down to resiliency.
One of the key tips, I mean, it's kind of cliche that we would tell the people, but honestly, it's when you're in that situation, you have two options, right? And you know, off camera, you know, I like to break things down.
You gotta break it down.
But you have to start to add some logic into this. You know, kind of trying to cut a lot of the emotion out from it and have to ask yourself. You have two options. You're either going to go this way or you're either going to go that way. And you have to make a choice. You can be sad. You can wake up in the morning and when you're traveling to work, as we was discussing yesterday, you could be happy or you could be sad. You know what it's like to be sad. You know what's down that road. So just try this road. You know, and it's not easy. I would like to add that, you know, continuously working on yourself, self-development, it adds to the help of being resiliency, because when we were in that situation that we were in, you know, it's us trying to work within ourselves to build ourselves to make us be able to say, when a situation comes and that pain is there, how can I get past it? You know that, okay, I learned these things, I'm stronger, I can keep going. You know.
It's very true. I mean, I think that's a great way to put it, because at the end of the day, it always comes down to choice, right? A lot of us, we find ourselves working in a 9 to 5, 5 years, 10 years, looking like, where did the time go? Like, I've been here for so long. And the truth is like, you weren't just there because you were there. You were there because you made the choice every day to get up, put your clothes on, get in your car or get on a bus or train, travel to the workplace, work, go back home, and then come back the next day, year after year after year. You made that choice all the time. At any point in time, you could have quit, you could have stopped showing up, but you were resilient enough. Why? Because there were outside factors that force you to have to work, right? You
exactly.
Call your bills or your responsibilities, your kids, whatever it is. So now what happens is with the things that we really want, our dreams, our highest goals, a lot of times there aren't factors that are forcing us to have to pursue those, right?
Yeah.
Those are things we pursue because we really have a passion for it.
Yeah.
The problem is that now we become these response beings. So it's on us to create that response within ourselves, that force that says, no, I have to do this. And that's why I'm always saying, like, what's your why? Get in touch with your why. Like, don't just say I want to do it. That's not enough. You have to know, why do you want to do this? Like, why do you want to make $100,000 next year? Why do you want to open this business? You know, don't just say because I hate working on my job. It's got to be deeper than that, because every single day is going to be obstacles. There's going to be things that are challenging you, but you have to be able to say, okay, no, I have to do this. Like you said, I can choose not to do it, or I can choose to do this. So what's going to be the thing that forces me to make that choice every single day? Right? You were just reminding me, and it's crazy some of the things we do, we forget. You were just reminding me that when I was in prison is when I learned to play the guitar. But the thing was, I learned to play within about 9 months. But that 9-month period, about 3-4 of those months was Pennsylvania winter. So, and in prison, like, you had to play outside, right? So I had to go outside with, like, there's no one outside. It's snowing. It's freezing cold outside, and I'm like, still trying to force my frozen fingers to learn these chords.
You're missing a point, right? So I was definitely there. This guy would skip sometimes, would not go to go eat.
Oh yeah.
Because you would sometimes be in there in between a break time to go get your food or just go get the comforts that could help make the situation better.
Yeah.
And you skipped that.
Yeah.
And that's like, this guy has lost his mind, man. But no, it showed that strong resilience, and it's definitely motivated.
But to me, the key was that it was about proving something to myself. It wasn't even about doing it for the world or for anybody else, but I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it, right? In a lot of ways, I felt that I was there because of pursuing this dream. And so I felt like, okay, I kind of made some bad choices that landed me in this place. I wanted to prove to myself that it was at least a real talent, a real gift in myself that I could develop and that I could bring out and share, right? Get over my fears, get over my self-doubts. I want to get over all the BS in order to just know for myself that I could do it. And so that meant once I started, I had to stop. Like, I couldn't take 3 months off learning the guitar just because it was cold outside, right? And so with that now translates into everything else that I'm doing in life. But the thing is that for you, there's also the same thing. There's something that you can connect to that says, this is why I have to do it, right? I have to prove it to myself. I have to do it for my kids. I have to do it to show the world that I'm able. I have to do it because there are other kids or other people who look up to me. You have to find something that's going to be outside of yourself that's going to make it. So when you have that choice, like, do I just like take it easy today and just watch Netflix Saturday, Sunday, like I always do every weekend? Disney Plus is gonna take a lot of people down over this winter. Disney Plus is gonna take a lot of people down. Like,
almost took me down.
Yeah, don't do that. We're gonna lose a lot of views to Disney Plus. So we got to fight hard, but. Understand, like, it's a choice that we all have, right? One of the greatest definitions that I ever learned was the definition of the word entertainment, right? To learn that the word meant means mind, to entertain the mind, right? To occupy the mind. Like, you have people out there who make a lot of money. This is a total side note, but you have people out there who make a lot of money off entertaining your minds, right? And I won't say it's so nefarious as keeping you from being your greatest self. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'll have a conspiracy theorist episode or something like that. But the point is that there are people who benefit from your mind being entertained, and you're not benefiting from your mind being entertained in that way. Instead, your mind should be totally engaged in the dream, the passion you have. If you're watching this right now, it's because you have a dream, it's because you have a passion, because you have this desire for personal development. And what's going to help you with that is resiliency.
Yes. Listen, I think you definitely hit it on the head. That is something that you said before, that with the is finding the why. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people are going to say, and which question is, well, how do I know if my why is strong enough? Because what I might think is strong today may not be essentially strong for the future.
Yeah.
You know, and what I'll say is to that is look deeper within yourself. You know, like I said, it sounds like it's cliche. I just got saying look deeper to yourself. There's something that's telling you whether it's stronger or not. You know, if it's something that's it's somewhat shallow, you know, your why is like, let's say when I used to do the personal training in the gym, and it's funny that you said that. Somebody would come and say, I want to lose weight. Well, what's your why? Oh, I want to look good, right? Okay. Everybody wants to look good. Cool, it might help your self-esteem. But to me, that wasn't a strong enough why. No, I can't train you. Sorry, I can't help you. You know what I mean?
Why is that?
It's because I knew from experiences that when somebody wants to look good, the thing is that with your why, once you achieve it, where's the rest of it?
Yeah, what's gonna keep you going?
Let's go. Now, somebody told me, hey, you know, I want to be healthy. Ha! That can keep going. Oh, I was sick. I want to be healthy.
Yeah.
Somebody in my family was sick. I want to start being healthy. Now that why is tied to something extremely deep because it could keep going.
Yeah.
And so that's why find a why that will keep going, that's strong enough. It's not a why once you get it, it's over.
Yeah,
you know
it's something that's like deeply embedded.
Yeah.
That's deep. And I think another way, like that, going back to what you said about people always saying, it is cliche when you hear the whole thing of look deeper. But when we say look deeper, just to like kind of really contextualize it, like monks, think of monks and Buddhists, and when they go on long meditation retreats or become monks, like they spend months and weeks in silence meditating and literally little to no conversation. And I remember a point in the period of my time where, and this was, remember, I'm a songwriter at heart, I'm a musician at heart, right? We're in Blue Room Studios right now in my house. I went for maybe 2-3 months, and this was maybe 2-3 years ago, of no music. Like, I wouldn't drive with no music. I didn't work out with any music.
Really?
I don't know if I ever told you that.
You did not tell me that.
This was essentially just around the time where I decided I was going to move into motivational speaking, but I needed to really connect with myself. And I forgot what book it was. I think it was actually Wherever You Go, There You Are, by John Kabat-Zinn.
Yeah.
I think it was in that book. He kind of suggested something like this, and so I said, I'm going to do this. Where I went months with no music. I would, and I would listen to maybe like one podcast a day or something like that. Something very small. Rest of the time I was just driving in silence, walking in silence, working out in silence. And the point was that we're all so bombarded by so much noise in the form of social media, TV, entertainment. Oh yeah, no TV. There was definitely no TV. That you need to pry yourself away from that stuff so you can really hear from your spirit, from your soul, what you need to be, what you need to do, what you want to do, what it's going to take for you to get there. So when we say like connect with yourself, connect with that why, it's so critical, it's worth it. It will be so clarifying for you if you can just separate yourself from the noise for a short period of time, just to redirect yourself, just to find that connection to your source, which is your soul, which is your higher power, in order that you can move forward. So if you feel that you are having trouble with resiliency, where you don't stay in the fight, you give up too easily, or you just like, you're still in a point of life where you don't know where your passion is, you don't know what your purpose is, right? You feel that you're waiting for this shining epiphany to happen.
Yeah.
Try removing some of the noise, right? Try removing some of the noise so that way you can really hear from yourself, and it's going to be so helpful for you.
Man, powerful stuff.
Very powerful. Very powerful
stuff.
Yeah, resiliency is key.
And speaking of liquor, we still got Lady Gaga on the on the topic at hand.
Yeah.
Is that we can't tell you exactly what she did to be resilient, but we can tell you from the stories that are given. You could YouTube her stories, you could read up her, Google her stories. You can see that sense of resiliency.
Yeah.
And from that resiliency, she's able to like warm the hearts of the world.
Yeah.
Do all the amazing things that she's done. Been in movies, been in TV shows. So much advocating. All that comes from being able to be resilient.
Yeah. One of the greatest aspects of her resiliency, something that I just learned, like you said, doing the research for Lady Gaga, I think something we both just learned for the first time, was that she dealt with sexual assault at the age of 16, right? That she was actually raped at the age of 16. And I was taken back by it, and to find out that she also dealt with so much mental health issues. I'm not sure as a result of it or it's just coinciding with that, but like you said, now because of that, she's become such a big advocate for people who've been sexually assaulted, people dealing with depression and mental health issues. And for me personally, having a family member who's dealt with mental health issues for a long time and being very close to that, I can say that that's something that's not easy. It's far from easy, right? That's something that to see that she can work through that in a way, and she speaks herself about Lady Gaga and her music being something that has basically been her medicine and her way out of that. But to deal with that and to be able to still be on such a big stage is to me like a true example of resiliency.
Yeah.
Right. So not professing to be a doctor or professing to definitely be a specialist in this at all, but just knowing that if one person can do it, right, we're all human beings. That means we all have that capability, right? We all have that ability to find those things that can be our saving grace. But the thing is, once again, it comes down to your choice, right? Resiliency comes down to a choice, right? A person is playing a sport in school. Their team loses. Their team loses repeatedly, right? You know, I was just talking about this with Mary earlier, that my daughter, she was on the volleyball team. All 4 years that she was on this volleyball team, they were a losing team. But her and the rest of the girls on the team always kept a positive spirit, always showed up and gave their all in the games, right? And now, being in college, I see all of these same girls, her girlfriends, I see them all great students, straight A students, all involved in all these extracurricular activities and just growing to be truly phenomenal young adults. And I'm like, there's a connection to that. The fact that they stayed resilient even though they were losing in that sports arena translates to them being phenomenal students and phenomenal individuals.
Of course.
Right? And so that's the thing, but that's a choice, right? You can choose to show up, or you can choose to quit the team, or you can choose to show up with a sour attitude, or you can choose to show up every day with this perspective that it's a new day. That means that there can be new results. I can make new choices. I can be resilient today, right? It's not about what happened yesterday, but it's about what I'm going to do today. And then it's about what I do today, how that's going to affect tomorrow.
Yeah. I can definitely dig that. Definitely dig it. Got some fire today?
Yeah, I mean, let's do it. So once again, let's bring up that track. We're gonna take it out how we always do it, motivation music. And just want y'all to take away from today that resiliency is a choice, right? You can be resilient, but if you're not resilient, without that resiliency, then you're going to succumb to the obstacles of life. We're all going to deal with suffering. We're all going to deal with heartbreak. We're all going to deal with disappointment, but you can choose to be resilient. There's that new Jhene Aiko, No Concern.
Yeah, No Concern.
No Concern. Turn up a little bit. What you choose to do today is what defines you tomorrow. Who you choose to be today defines who you'll be for the rest of your life. It's not easy fighting through what's hard. But it was never meant to be easy. Because if it was meant to be easy, then that means everyone could have it. But life is created to challenge you. Life is created to bring the best out of you. That means pressure. That means fire. That means that when you go through that fire, you come out brighter than you've ever been. When you go through those storms, you come out more seasoned. You come out harder than you ever were. But if you choose to succumb, if you choose not to try hard, if you choose to give up, then what are you really bringing to life? Who are you really being? Life asks of you, what are you going to give? What seeds are you going to plant? How are you going to take care of your garden? How are you going to take care of your mind? How are you going to take care of your heart? How are you going to take care of your body? How are you going to take care of your family? Are you just going to accept the cards that you were dealt? Are you going to just accept the hand that you were dealt? Are you going to work to create a better hand for yourself? You see, we all have a power within ourselves to create, to design our destiny. But it's gonna take creativity, it's gonna take patience, it's gonna take hard work, it's gonna take focus every single day. Every single day we have to make those choices just to do a little bit more. How can we take one more step forward? Instead of focusing always on the bigger picture, instead of always focusing on being a thing, focus on becoming that thing. Focus on the skill set that you need to develop. Focus on what you need to learn today. Who do you need to talk to today? What videos do you need to watch? What do you need to listen to? How do you need to grow yourself? How do you need to push yourself? Don't wait for somebody to come and give you a handout. Don't wait for somebody to say, come on, let me show you the way, but go and find that person. Go read the books, read the biographies. There's so much that you can do. Stop waiting for someone to tell you to go. The power is within you to choose that moment for yourself. Right now could be the moment that it all clicks. Right now could be the moment that everything comes together for you. And guess what? The sky's not going to open up. The angels aren't going to sing. The light's not going to shine down on you. All that's going to happen is you're going to make a choice to move forward, and you're going to move. But when you make that choice, man, oh man, get ready, because your life is going to change. When you make that choice, that's when life really begins to happen, where life really becomes fun. When you make that choice, it's when you'll no longer have to be concerned with who said what, who's telling you can't do it, because you realize the power is within yourself.